So that whole deal about all that time traveling and looper stuff you've probably already heard about? Yeah, it's true. You see, time travel hasn't been invented, but 30 years from now, it has. And you're thinking to yourself right now, yeah, okay, alrighty buddy, this guy knows everything, right? But that's true too. They call me a looper, who gets rid of bad people from the future. All I have to say is, best job ever. Yeah, girl, I'll be there. I just need to kill this one person. One sec. He's coming soon, yeah. Oh yeah, yes, I do promise. Hello? Yeah, well, we do have our hard times, but it ends up alright. But throughout all these times, you don't expect the next guy you're gonna kill is you. And so when I let him loose, that's when our story begins. But I'm not gonna let that happen. What did I just do? Now I have to live the next 30 years of my life knowing how I die! Holy...
Marker. And action.
What's up guys, Marker98 here on my new channel, MegaMovieManMark, and I'm always excited when I do my videos, but today I am just going crazy! And that's because on Thursday, September 6th, I got my first movie screening, and while it maybe not be a critic screening, it was still very awesome. I traveled to TIFF 2012, which was a very mega adventure, and it was my first TIFF 2. It was their opening night, and guess what they showed? Looper. And you may be thinking, Thursday, September 6th, that date sounds familiar. I think I heard it from another critic or something. Well, yeah. Here's the hint. If you're a longtime fan of this guy, you know what that picture is and when he used it, blah, blah, blah. I won't tell you my story because then I'm going to just go on and on, but I will make my own video just for TIFF. And if you want to see a video other than a movie review, go there and I'll just go on and on. Here I'll focus on the review. If there's any movie worth seeing early at TIFF, come on, it's this. Now the setting of this bad boy movie is in the future, 2044 to be exact, where time travel, as you've heard in the trailers and everywhere else, has not been invented. Even in my intro I said that. It's not been invented, but in 30 years, it has been. And they use time travel 30 years before, 30 years after the time I'm talking about, which is 2044, which is after this present time, but the movie takes place in 2044, and then 30 years after, it has been invented, but in 2044 it hasn't been invented, but they use it from the future because you can go back in time. So they go back in time, they get a bad person, they shoot them in the past, which is really the future when you compare it to now, and then you get disposed of the body. Let me do that a little bit slower. Okay, so 30 years from 2044, which is the setting of this movie, they get a bad person, they send it back. I don't need to go this into detail, you're not stupid. But they send it back to someone like Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character, who is a looper, fits in with the title, And what happens? Just there and then, boom, shot, done, dead, bye-bye birdie. So what happens to you when your only task is your future self? Because I don't know. I mean, I do because I saw the movie, but I'm not going to tell you because I don't want to spoil it. And you could say, well, that's the big question. Should I watch the movie? Yeah, this is honestly one of my favorite movies of the year. Wasn't really a huge fan of every summer movie that came out this year. A lot more bad ones than good ones in my opinion. But let me tell you, this was such a nice breeze of fresh air. Everything in this movie is amazing. We'll start with the story. Brilliant, 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 brilliant. Yes, brilliant. And very unique too, and some people at my screening said the opposite. I disagree completely. You can't help but being like, what are you talking about? And the really cool thing about this movie is the marketing. You know the main storyline, but you don't know any major plot points that are revealed. None of it is given away at all, and it made for a really mind-blowing experience. I said really and very at the same time, so really. Which leads me to saying that this is one of the biggest surprises of this year. What? And what I mean by that is I knew this movie was going to be good, but I didn't know I was going to like it this much. But not even that. I just got so involved with the story. It's amazing and very fun to watch in its own way. This guy right here, you remember this guy? Of course you do. He started a conversation with me about how this could easily be the next Inception. And I agree, and that's just how I felt. I think a lot of other people agreed with me. Most of the theater, the majority of the theater, seemed to enjoy it.
about 1,500 people. Really large theater, a nice theater too. And it really gets you thinking throughout the movie and talking after the movie, which I love. And let's face it, it's an amazing addition to the sci-fi genre, with a unique twist. There are some difficult situations in this movie, and believe it or not, some relatable, tough things that are brought up as well. Not exactly for everyone, it's kind of like Spider-Man. Are you a nerd in high school? Actually, nothing like Spider-Man. I'm sorry why I brought that up. Word example, but I'm telling you, there are some things that people will relate to you that you don't expect from the trailer. You don't see those scenes in the trailer. You don't know that that's a main storyline. It's awesome. I'm telling you, you do not expect some of these plot points that are introduced to be introduced. I'm sure some people will give you a little bit of a hint, but I will not spoil it because I want you going in the movie with knowing the least as possible, so you'll enjoy it as much as I did. The action in this movie is extremely unique and very well done, which Expendables 2 is very fun, but we've pretty much seen that all before. Here it's completely fresh, but still very intense, and also unlike Expendables 2, which Expendables 2 is a pretty good example for everything. There's a story that you're invested in from start to finish. In a movie like that, you don't really care about the story. It's just mindless fun, but that doesn't make it a good movie. That's the difference between a good movie and a fun one. This one is both. See the difference? Hope so. Another good thing, actually more than good, a phenomenal thing, is the cinematography. So many shots in this movie are stunning, and I can't really think of all of them right now. I had a lot of examples in my head when I walked out of the movie, but now I'm just forgetting. I'm sorry. Does not make it forgettable. Yes, it does! No, it doesn't. When people are falling from a distance or some action scenes are being portrayed, there is some slow motion, but it's very to a minimum, and it really works. It looks very cool. When Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Bruce Willis are talking to each other, or themselves, because they're the same person, they're very tough with each other. They're talking to each other. Bruce Willis is just like, take your gun from under the table and just do it. Which is like being tough with yourself, you know, you're just like, come on, you can do this, come on. Come on, you can do this movie review right now. That's a terrible example. I like doing movie reviews. Another thing is the resemblance between the two looks really good. You believe that they were the same person, but it wasn't just because they looked pretty similar with the makeup. There's this one montage in the movie. It's so incredible. It's one of my favorite scenes of the movie, and there's a lot of good scenes in this movie, so it's kind of hard to choose. But you see him growing up. I won't go into detail, but I've never seen anything like that and so stylized well. And you get involved. I don't know how many times I said that, but that's the best thing about the movie. As you know, the past movie that Joseph Gordon-Levitt has been in, Premium Rush, has some scenes where it goes back and forward in time and you see the time on screen. Here they kind of do that, they repeat scenes, but they do it from a different camera angle, which is also cool with cinematography, and they introduce something new. So the second time you see the same scene, it's going to be from a different angle, and there's going to be something that you noticed that in the first scene you didn't. And it's actually pretty funny at some parts. I won't go on and on, just see it. It is such a good film. 4.5 out of 5 MegaMarks. Definitely recommend you check it out when it comes out. But that is it for now. I can't ask you in the comments below what you thought of the movie, but are you excited? How excited on a scale from 1 to 5 MegaMarks? Like and share the video and comment below about that. And remember, subscribing to MegaMovieManMark is mega cool.